More and more and more crap to sift through. What is up, guys? John Claymore here, and it's Sunday, and we've got to talk about. Yeah, we got to talk about that guy there and his trip to Mar-a-Lago.
Most perturbed about me asking him to be my vice president. I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is,
Now, guys, that right there was only a part of apparently what happened at Mar-a-Lago. Apparently, there's this big hoopla that's going on right now about Kanye West, Milo Yiannopoulos, Sneeko, and I don't even know who the hell Sneeko is, and Nick Fuentes going down to Mar-a-Lago. And, of course, you've got all kinds of people out there saying that Trump is, let's just say, chumming up to those who are, let's just say, the A and the S phrase. Can't really say it in the first 2 minutes of the video, or else YouTube will find a way to keep this video from moving up the chain. So let's talk about this really quick. Don't worry, I'll play the whole clip for you guys. Yes, I just dropped the controller. You guys can make fun of me in the comment section. Here is the thing. Kanye West has really had a very colorful past, if you think about it. And a while back, I did a video on him. Of course, it was the video that he did the interview with Tucker Carlson. And I kind of highlighted some points that he was making in that video, which was where I thought he was right at. But at the same time, though, how far can you actually trust somebody who's a little bit of a wild card? Back in 2005, 2006 time frame, when Hurricane Katrina occurred, Kanye was one of the main people out there screaming that the whole thing that was going on down there was actually racist. He's had several crazy takes. You know, he jumped on stage during Taylor Swift's little acceptance speech, of course, made an ass of himself. That was Obama who said that. Kanye's always been a bit of a wild card and been a little bit on the crazy nutty side. Then, of course, after Trump got elected president in 2016, he meets him at Trump Tower, has a conversation, goes to the White House, puts the red hat on. All of a sudden, people think he's a conservative. Then, for whatever reason, he decides he wants to run third party on the birthday party. Sounded completely incoherent the entire time. And now, of course, he's being touted as a conservative voice, which, by the way, I think is just ridiculous to even contemplate. Now, guys, I know that was a bit of a rant and a bit of a ramble, but trust me, there are some things to be covered. Number one, we're going to cover this little clip. Number two, we're going to respond to that clip. And number three, we're going to talk about how if Kanye West does decide to run for president, he runs third party, he's actually going to be doing more damage to the Democrats than he would be to Donald Trump. Let's go ahead and roll this, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I think the thing that Trump was most perturbed about, me asking him to be my vice president, I think that was like lower on the list of things that caught him off guard. It was the fact that I walked in with intelligence. So Trump is really impressed with Nick Fuentes. And Nick Fuentes, unlike so many of the lawyers and so many people that he was left with on his 2020 campaign, he's actually a loyalist. When he didn't know what the lawyers is, you'll still have your lawyer list. And when all the lawyers said, forget it, Trump's done, there were loyalists running up in the White House, right? And my question would be, why, when you had the chance, did you not free the January 6ers? And I came to him as someone who loves Trump, and I said, go and get Corey back. Go and get these people that the media tried to cancel and told you to step away from. He basically gives me this would-be mob-esque kind of story, talking to some kid from the south side of Chicago trying to sound mobby or whatever. He goes into the story about all that he went through to get Alice Johnson out of jail and how he didn't do it for Kim, but he did it for me. But then he goes on to say that Kim is a you could tell her I said that. And I was thinking, like, that's the mother of my children. Since we know, and all the Christians in America that love Trump know that Trump is a conservative, we're going to demand that you hold all policies directly to the Bible. When Trump started basically screaming at me at the table, telling me I was going to lose, I mean, has that ever worked for anyone in history? Telling me
you're going to lose. Tell him he's going to lose.
I'm like, well, hold on, Trump.
I think that this Truth Social post by Donald Trump encapsulates the whole thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's regretting the whole thing now, or he's definitely regretting anything involving Kanye West. As far as calling Kim Kardashian a name, if he actually did that, I'm pretty sure that what Donald Trump was trying to do is he was trying to tell Kanye West, Dude, I want you to stay the hell away from me. He obviously said that in order to piss you off. He wouldn't just throw that around there. He obviously wants you gone. He doesn't want you anywhere near him. He probably maybe thought maybe Kanye's coming down here and maybe he'll be good or whatever. But now I see that he's actually a danger to the future, or my future in particular. We'll talk about Fuentes here in a second. And the mere fact that he said that Trump was perturbed, that right there might be a pretty solid indication of what I'm saying is actually true. However, I gotta make this point right here, which, by the way, I've never made this point before. We got to talk about the whole why didn't you pardon people on January the 6th? Okay, well, let me explain something to you guys really quick. Arrest and charging somebody with a crime, or charging someone with trespassing or whatever, it's not as simple of a process as you think. You see, on January the 6th, you had thousands of people that were outside the Capitol, and you had thousands of people that were in D.C. itself. So don't you think it's maybe possible that the cops just can't round that many people up that fast and throw them in the jail and charge them overnight? That's not how arrests work, okay? The vast majority of people who are screaming this crap have never actually gone through the process, which is good on you. You never got arrested. I never got arrested either. But the fact of the matter is, you're talking about January the 6th. It would have been about probably January the 9th or January the 10th before the cops or the police officers or the Capitol Police or the FBI even had the profiles of the people that were even there. And then you're talking about another 48 to 72 hours before local law enforcement gets to these people long after they've gotten home. By the way, Fuentes was high profile. He was actually detained that day. And like I said, we'll talk about Fuentes in a second. So by the time these people got charged with a crime or charged with anything, it was like January the 16th, January the 17th. Maybe January 13th at best. So that only leaves about maybe 6 days for him to issue out a pardon, of which, by the way, these people have been charged, not actually tried, meaning that you've actually got to be tried and sentenced to jail itself before you even get the pardon. Yeah, to all you January 6 people saying, look, he should have pardoned these people, there's a reason why he didn't pardon them, and it's pretty freaking obvious. There was no way he could pardon them. Now let's talk about Fuentes. One of those I support the current thing guys, one of those DeSimps who's also an anti-Trumper, Ron Bablisky, I'm not even going to try to friggin' pronounce his name. He posted this little video of Fuentes on his podcast or whatever the hell it is.
The president. And the president, I don't think he does know who I am, or rather, he didn't know that I was me. Let me put it that way. I don't think he knew that I was me at the dinner. Let's put it that way. I don't know if I'm going to say he didn't know me, but I'm not sure about that. But certainly he didn't know that I was me when I arrived at the dinner. And, you know, I didn't mean for my statements and my, you know, my whole background to sort of be, to become a public relations problem for the president. But I told him at the dinner, I said, Mr. President, I said, you are one of the greatest Americans that has ever lived. I campaigned for you in 2016. I was there and Stop the Steal in Harrisburg, Lansing, Atlanta, D.C., Phoenix. I said, and I love you, and I supported you for all these years. You know, and I thought that was important because he really has been a hero of mine, and he has been the guy for the last 6 years. Although, based on the announcement speech that we saw a couple of weeks ago, and based on everything that I've just said, we have to move forward. We have to move forward in service of Christ, in service of the truth, and in service of America. We can't move backwards. But I'll say this, a race between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump as he is running right now, about the radical left and inflation, versus DeSantis, it just isn't what the country needs right now. Let's put it this way. That dialectic, DeSantis and a moderate Trump.
Now, guys, really, really quick, I could care less who Nick Fuentes is supporting in the primaries. I could really and truly care less who anybody is supporting in the primaries. Obviously, if you want to have that discussion with me, we can have that discussion of why it is I feel the way I do. You tell me why it is that you feel the way you do. Hopefully, we can unite as a party going forward. But here's the thing, though. It almost feels to me like maybe with him at the end basically saying that he was kind of pitching a tent for DeSantis. It maybe feels a little bit like me that he knows that he's a PR nightmare. Of course, we're talking about Fuentes. He knows that he's a problem. He knows he's a problem for whoever he supports. If he actually attaches himself to said individual, he knows that that is an issue. it is possible that maybe him doing that right there is an indication that maybe he's trying to hurt DeSantis a little bit more than Trump. You see, guys, there's a lot of cross narratives here, a lot of crossfire going on here that we really and truly don't know the truth over. So I, for the most part, believe that this right here is just another one of those crazy situations that, quite frankly, just gets nuttier and nuttier and nuttier and nuttier and nuttier because of the nuts that are actually involved in the situation. On Truth Social basically said that it wasn't impressive. John Cardillo, he said that in order for you to go to Mar-a-Lago, you got to go through security checks. Obviously, Secret Service there, you're probably going to have to do that. So I don't think that Trump did not know that Kanye was coming down. My guess is that Kanye West probably called first and then probably showed up with Milo. By the way, I've never had an issue with Milo. I've never really had an issue with Fuentes either. But Fuentes is not exactly somebody that you want to kind of have around at this moment in time, especially considering some of the things that he has said. Now, first and foremost, let me go ahead and kind of get this out of the way. You got a lot of people from, the DeSantis and, of course, fat-ass Chris Christie talking about this being this very, very bad thing for Donald Trump, and it was shameful. Before you start to say that you think that Trump's hanging out with a bunch of anti-Semites because he's anti-Semitic, let me go ahead and tell you something right quick. No president, to our knowledge in American history, did more for the country of Israel than Donald Trump. Number two, Donald Trump has got Jewish grandchildren. Yeah, his daughter Ivanka is married to Jared Kushner, who, by the way, is Jewish. So therefore, the grandchildren are also Jewish as well. So I highly doubt that this guy's an anti-Semite. I don't really and truly think that Kanye is. I just think Kanye West is absolutely crazy. You two, please don't strike this channel for that right there. Of course, if you guys know Kanye West's actual past, then you would know he was absolutely crazy. Fuentes, people have tried to say that a lot of his remarks were jokes. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to dig through that because even though I know of Nick Fuentes, I don't really know of him that well. So we're not even going to touch that. Milo, I've never really seen it out of him. If you guys know more about that, please leave it in the comment section. But here's the thing we have to go through. Kanye was talking about running for president. Of course, he was trying to give Trump advice on president. What was it he said? If you implement or you run on policies that are strictly biblical, you'll get elected. This right here should be proof that Kanye West is off his freaking rockers. He is off. The cheese has fallen off this boy's cracker. Let me go ahead and say this really quick. I'm a Christian. I'm pro-life, okay? I believe that biblical laws, of course, if you want to run on stuff that's biblical, I don't think you're going to be able to win that. A lot of independents are, quite frankly, going to just walk the hell away. Not everybody lives the same lifestyle I do, and obviously I do not live the same lifestyle that many others do. Now, if you want to implement something like, say, a tithing tax, which, by the way, would be the flat tax, like a 15%, if you want to implement stuff like that right there, you need to wait till you're actually president to actually implement that stuff, and it's not exactly something that you're going to win an election on. Of course, you probably could win off the tithing tax, but, of course, banning abortion, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you're probably not going to be able to win elections on that. I'm pretty sure that Donald Trump himself kind of sort of knows this thing, how he's ran for president and won, and he's also had to leave the White House. I'm pretty sure that Trump understands that. Number two, this right here to me, I think is very important. And of course, it's starting to disappear from my mind. But Kanye West wanting to run for president. Okay, Kanye West wanting to run for president. Number one, he's got no chance at the Republican nomination. And all these people who are saying that Kanye West would just split the ticket if he ran third party, it's not so simple. He would actually split the ticket for the Democrats. Let me explain the reason why. Kanye West only appeals to two voter groups. He appeals to blacks who are not going to vote for Donald Trump anyway, that were more than likely going to vote Democrat. And he, I guess you could say he would probably be the top choice for a lot of Gen Z voters. Also, something else, too. Somebody as crazy and as maniacal as Kanye West being president is just something that people just don't want to imagine. Even a lot of leftoids would not vote for him. I mean, at the best, like I said before, he's probably going to get some Gen Z college vote, and he's going to get some black voters who, quite frankly, weren't going to vote Republican anyway. So, Kanye, if you want to run for president, go right ahead and do it. You just made Trump's job a lot easier. And let me make this last point really quick. Did you guys catch how Kanye had said that you should run for president on this platform here, you should run on these ideals, but yet at the same time, he's also running for president too? I mean, this just doesn't make a whole lot of sense here. A lot of contradictions. Fact of the matter is this right here. Kanye West does great music. Kanye West may have had an actual honest-to-God conversion. However, at the same time, that does not mean that Kanye West is sane. So if I was Donald Trump, or if I was Ron DeSantis, should he become the nominee, or if I was any Republican nominee, I would steer completely clear of Kanye West and keep them the hell away from my campaign. Keep them the hell away from my office and keep them the hell away from my home. Even if what Donald Trump said was true, it does not matter. Kanye West went down there, and it seems just a little bit fishy, especially with Fuentes. Let me go ahead and throw this out here about Fuentes. I'm going to make one last note when it comes to Nick Fuentes. Didn't Fuentes get interrogated by the FBI shortly after January 6th? Do you think maybe it's possible that maybe he could have been flipped? Maybe he could have been turned? I mean, he was recently out in California with Destiny, getting all chummy with him. I just figure I would throw that out there, okay? And like I said before, I don't dislike Nick Fuentes or anything. But at the same time, though, if you've got somebody who could possibly be accused to be a Holocaust denier or anything like that, not saying that he is, not saying that he ain't, I'm just simply saying you might want to keep his ass away from your campaign, too. Milo, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure. Milo Yiannopoulos went on Timcast IRL the other night and actually told the full truth, and I 100% agree with him. But at the same time, though, some of these personalities may be a little bit too seedy, especially Kanye West. So, Mr. Trump or any other Republican nominee going out there in 2024, keep these nutbags away from your campaign. Guys, John Clamore, if you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign up in the comment section. This video will be out on Sunday. I'll see you guys later.